Napoleon Bonaparte, one of history's most extraordinary figures, was born on August 15, 1769, in Ajaccio, on the island of Corsica, shortly after it was annexed by France. Though his family was of minor Italian nobility, they were not wealthy, and young Napoleon grew up with a strong Corsican identity, initially resentful of French authority. From a young age, he showed signs of remarkable intellect, fierce determination, and a volatile temperament. At the age of 9, he was sent to mainland France to attend military school, where he was often ridiculed for his Corsican accent and lower social status. Yet he excelled in mathematics and military theory, reading voraciously and idolizing historical figures like Alexander the Great and Julius Caesar. At just 16, he graduated and became a second lieutenant in the French artillery. As the French Revolution erupted in 1789, creating a vacuum of power and opportunity, Napoleon quickly aligned himself with revolutionary ideals and used the chaos to rise. His big break came in 1793 during the Siege of Toulon, where his clever artillery strategy drove out British forces, earning him promotion to brigadier general at just 24. In 1795, he famously suppressed a royalist uprising in Paris with a whiff of grape shot, gaining the admiration of the revolutionary government, the Directory. Soon after, he married Josephine de Beauharnais, a well-connected widow, and in 1796 was given command of the French army of Italy. There, he stunned Europe by defeating much larger Austrian forces through daring maneuvers, bold risk-taking, and electrifying speeches that inspired his ragged troops to impossible victories. He became a legend across France, not only as a commander but as a symbol of national pride. In 1798, he launched an ambitious campaign in Egypt to disrupt British interests and glorify France's eastern influence. While militarily mixed, his fleet was destroyed at the Battle of the Nile. He brought scholars, mapped the region, and uncovered the Rosetta Stone, linking him forever to historical legacy. Sensing opportunity back home, Napoleon returned to France in 1799, where the government was crumbling. In a bold coup d'état, he seized power and established the consulate, becoming first consul and effectively ruler of France. In 1804, in a ceremony thick with symbolism, he crowned himself Emperor of the French, placing the crown on his own head in Notre Dame Cathedral, asserting that his authority came from himself and the people, not the church. As emperor, he enacted sweeping reforms. The Napoleonic Code became a foundation for modern law. He centralized education, revamped the economy, and restored a sense of national pride. But it was on the battlefield that he truly made his mark. In 1805 at Austerlitz, he defeated Russian and Austrian forces in what many consider the perfect battle. This cemented his reputation as one of history's greatest military minds. His empire expanded rapidly, installing family members as kings in Italy, Spain, Holland, and Naples, while imposing French laws and customs throughout Europe. Yet his ambition had no limits. In 1812, seeking to punish Russia for abandoning his continental system, a trade blockade against Britain, he invaded with a grand army, over 600,000 strong. Though he reached Moscow, the Russians had burned the city and retreated. Faced with a harsh winter, starvation, and guerrilla attacks, Napoleon's retreat was catastrophic. Barely 100,000 men survived. This disaster encouraged other European powers, Britain, Austria, Prussia, and Russia, to rise against him. In 1813, at the Battle of Leipzig, the coalition decisively defeated Napoleon. By 1814, Paris was invaded and Napoleon, urged by his own marshals, abdicated. He was exiled to the small island of Elba but escaped less than a year later and returned to France in an event known as the 100 Days. As he marched north, troops sent to stop him joined him instead, and he reclaimed the throne without violence. But the European powers quickly mobilized again. In June 1815, at the Battle of Waterloo in Belgium, Napoleon made his final stand. Despite flashes of brilliance, he was outmaneuvered by the Duke of Wellington and Prussian General Blücher. The defeat was total. Captured, Napoleon was exiled once more, this time to the remote island of St. Helena in the South Atlantic, far from any hope of return. There, surrounded by a small group of loyal followers and under constant British guard, he lived in declining health, dictating his memoirs, defending his legacy, and blaming others for his failures. He died on May 5, 1821, likely from stomach cancer, though rumors of poisoning persist. His body was later returned to France, and he was buried with honor in Les Invalides in Paris. Napoleon Bonaparte's life was a saga of genius, ambition, and contradiction. He brought stability and legal reform to a France ravaged by revolution, spread Enlightenment ideals across Europe, and challenged monarchies with the promise of merit and reason. But he also plunged the continent into years of war, caused millions of deaths, and let personal pride cloud his judgment. Loved and hated, admired and feared, Napoleon remains a symbol of boundless ambition, a self-made emperor who reshaped the world in his image, only to be undone by the same flame that fueled his rise.